Tennessee bounces back from its first loss of the season with a 56-24 victory over UAB today at Neyland Stadium. Alongside Patrick Brown, I'm Ryan Callahan with this GoVols 24/7 No-Huddle. Patrick, it was a good start for Tennessee. They scored on 6 of their 7 first-half possessions, got out to a 42-7 halftime lead. Took their foot off the gas a little bit in the second half when the backups got in, but overall, mostly what you would expect from Tennessee in a game like this.
Yeah, it was 28-0 early in the second quarter. Tennessee, another fast start. It's 83-7 now. They've outscored their first 4 opponents in the first quarter, scored on 12 of their 15 first quarter touchdown drives. So really efficient start. I think the only one they didn't score on today was the interception off the tip drill, sort of a defensive back makes a play, ball pops up in the air. So not really a play that was on Joey Aguilar, but he completed his first 6 passes, 114 yards, great throw over the top to Mike Matthews. Second half got a little sloppy though. They had 3 penalties on 1 play. I don't think they were all on Jesse Perry, so let's cut him a break.
That's hard to do, though.
But they actually overcame that drive and went down the field and scored. So, like you said, the starting offense got a drive in the second half too, and scored on that one. So, and then they were out of the game. But Josh Heupel said after the game, a lot of things they can clean up, a lot of good too. So, they will probably move on from this one pretty quickly and get ready to go to Mississippi State.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line. You got out of here, nobody got hurt, nothing significant that we're aware of. There were several guys who sat out this game, of course, so a chance for Tennessee to test its depth a little bit on defense especially, and mixed results on that for the most part. But overall, assuming you got out of here without any injuries that we're not aware of, you got what you needed out of this game, and it's on to SEC play for 5 straight conference games.
Yeah, I think the secondary response was pretty good. They were able to make some plays early in the game. Productive games for Jalen McMurray. I think 6 tackles, a couple tackles for loss, pass breakup. Got the first 3 and out of the game. Ty Redmond had a pass breakup, and Jalen McMurray said he was his normal self in practice this week coming off the Georgia game. So the secondary was able to do some good things early and help Tennessee build that big lead. They still gave up over almost 350 passing yards. UAB did a lot of that in the second half, though. Their quarterback, who was top 15 in passing coming into this game, had, I think, 147 yards at half, was under 6 yards an attempt, which if you're doing that defensively, that's still pretty good. So there was the drive in the second quarter where some zone coverage wasn't great. The tackling wasn't great on the touchdown, but defensively they came out and really the starters did a lot of good things. Second half wasn't great with a lot of young players out there, and Josh Heupel said after the game that this film will show them that they need to continue to improve. And he made the point talking about Isaiah Campbell, who got some early playing time on the defensive line, just how they're going to need as they get into the stretch of SEC play now. They're going to need those young guys to keep developing and keep adding depth, because that was something that, coming off of last week, they had a lot of guys play a lot of high snap counts.
While the starters were in the game, you had at least 1 rushing touchdown for all 3 of Tennessee's top running backs. A better day for Peyton Lewis. He had the 30-yard touchdown on the speed option pitch from Joey Aguilar. So some nice moments for the offense overall. Another deep ball for a touchdown, beautifully thrown from Joey Aguilar to Mike Matthews. Chris Brazzell getting involved again. So pretty much what you would expect from Tennessee's offense against an opponent that was pretty low ranked in major defensive categories, and Tennessee doing what it's continued to do throughout the first 4 games of the season. They've put up points against everyone they've played.
Yeah, and there were some plays left out there though. I think some of the after you get up 28-0, it's only human nature to sort of, I don't want to say back off a little bit, but they were a little bit leakier in coverage. Joey Aguilar had to get away from a couple of almost sure sacks to make some plays. They had 3 deep shots that weren't completed. 2 of them were Mike Matthews. He said after the game he thinks more about the touchdown he didn't catch right over behind my shoulder here than the one that he did catch on the second drive. So I think overall the offense, and Joey Aguilar and Mike Matthews said this too, we played pretty well, but there's still things we can clean up, and Josh Heupel said that as well. So and defensively, Heupel was asked about the injuries and who they haven't had, and he was like, no one cares. You don't get an asterisk or a but because you don't have your top corners and you were missing 3 defensive linemen and have not had 2 defensive tackles. So they've just got to keep pushing through that, because we'll see if they get those guys back, but Heupel was not making any excuse with that after this game.
No doubt, and some disappointments in the second half, like you mentioned, some up and down play. Jake Merklinger got in most of the second half at quarterback, 3 of 8 passing for 57 yards. Had a chance to throw a late touchdown in the final minute there.
Some people interested.
Yeah. If you had a certain wager on this game, that might have decided it there. But yeah, you definitely saw Tennessee miss some plays there. Merklinger not as sharp as you'd probably like in the second half, and you didn't get George McIntyre in the game. That might be a missed opportunity. We'll see how when he's able to get into another game. Might be November before Tennessee really has a part of the schedule that allows that. So some missed opportunities there, but overall, mostly what Tennessee needed to get done. And do you feel any different about this team now as they get ready to go back into SEC play next week?
No, they got to go on the road. That'll be different. That'll be their first true road game, and Heupel said that's where they need to take a step. Right, they haven't played on the road yet. He said that once you're between the white lines, you can't let anything outside of that affect how you play. So that'll be a challenge this week. I'm sure they avoided a night game, but it's still going to be probably a pretty good atmosphere in Starkville with a team that, if they win today, is going to be 4-0 and probably looking to snap. They haven't won an SEC game in a long time, so
yeah.
They'll be pretty fired up for Tennessee rolling in, and Tennessee's got to handle the road atmosphere and play better in some areas, but also continue doing some of the good things that they're doing.
The Vols improved to 3-1. They won't be back here for another 3 weeks when they play Arkansas on October 11th. In the meantime, they go to Mississippi State next week and then have an open date. Plenty to talk about as we get ready for that game, and a big one, maybe a little bit tougher than it looked on the schedule during the offseason. Tennessee getting ready to go on the road for the first time this season. For Patrick Brown, I'm Ryan Callahan.